Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. So I'm gonna switch gears and move away from the video game theory. I thought that was a really good episode yesterday. Just kind of talking about the layers and upon layers of simulation that we could be possibly finding ourselves in. Perhaps what we consider as this living consciousness is the fact that we'd already left an inorganic body behind millions of years ago, perhaps, in a super advanced civilization, and that ever since we've been just building layers upon layers of simulations, to give the illusion of living a real life. And essentially with this whole heaven and earth and all this near-death experience stuff is all that is. It's just the consciousness is just moving between different simulations. And I don't know, folks. Look, I'm not saying I ascribe to that, but it is interesting, right? Well, we're not talking about video game theory today. However, it does kind of tie in a little bit. I wanted to talk about AI and robotics. This is... Look, folks, the reason why this has become so hot topic and so crazy lately, and it's just coming at us 1,000 miles an hour, is because this technology has already been perfected to a certain degree for over 40 years, folks. Like, look, it used to be that experts or insiders claimed that black projects, DARPA, Skunk Works, all these other, defense contractors and stuff that work on more secretive military and, intelligence stuff. They used to claim that the public, our technologies were about 40 years behind where these secret agencies were at, like DARPA and stuff, like where their technologies were at. But now they're saying that because of the compound effect, that now we're about 80 to 90 years behind. So what we're seeing right now, folks, with this big push for AI and all this, it's not that we're developing this stuff right now. It's a lot of it's already developed. Now they want to roll it out to the public. And the problem now is that we don't have the infrastructure to do it. That's what this is all really about. Like, look, they've already got large language models that are way more advanced than Grok or, ChatGPT or any of these mainstream ones that are being rolled out to the public, okay? They've been collecting our data, folks, for 40 years. Ever since the internet went live, they were already collecting our data for these large language models they were already working on, okay? So we're behind the curve big time. I'm talking the public is, okay? So we're under the assumption that all this is all new and coming out. No, folks, it's already been built. They're just, the problem is that their technology got so far ahead of where they developed the public infrastructure. And then you had these idiots on the left. I mean, these total douchebags, these total virtue signalers that were pushing for all this stupid solar and wind energy and stuff. See, what they were trying to do, folks, you got to understand, the left, the Marxist left, I'm not saying everybody that's a Democrat, or left-leaning is a Marxist, but a majority of these people actually are. And I'm not talking you're just your white liberal, college-educated Catwoman, leftist. I'm talking, and those are some of the most toxic people on earth. I just want to mention, folks, the white liberal woman is probably one of the most toxic human beings you can actually run into on earth. But look, I'm talking about the people in the power structure, the Marxists, like the Clintons and the Obamas and these people that actually had hands-on power. Their whole plan for the last 30, 40 years was to undermine the United States so that China and Russia, at least when Russia was still communist, that they could try to cripple us so that they could give them the edge to get ahead on all this stuff. All these technologies were already there. Look, Russia's been working on this stuff for the same amount of time we have. China, since we started building them up, our politicians started selling us out in the 70s to China. They started working on all this. And of course, Japan's been working on it too. I mean, look, what we're seeing now, folks, has already been in the works for, 40 years plus, okay? But these Marxists were trying to undermine our infrastructure, our power grid, so that they've known for 30, 40 years that these AI systems and robotic systems, these, automated, factories and everything we're going to need that were run by robotics, because that's what's coming down the pike, folks. That's going to replace all your jobs. That's the factory jobs they're talking about bringing back to the U.S. See, folks, the reason why we can bring manufacturing back to the U.S. is what Trump's all about, is because he knows that it'll be all robots and AI managing these facilities. You don't need human workers doing them. And that's what they've been talking about, okay? But you need a massive power infrastructure to do this. And the Marxists have been trying to destroy our power output for a long time. They knew that sun and, that solar and wind power was very inefficient, very expensive. It drains the earth of its rare, minerals like cobalt and lithium and such. They knew all this. They knew that it was the worst way to power an advanced civilization. And they were undermining this on purpose. Every which way you could, all in the name of saving the planet. Folks, these people don't give a shit about saving the planet. Don't you understand how demonic these people are? It was never about saving the planet. It was about undermining the United States power infrastructure, because they knew this was going to be the next race. The post, the post-industrial revolution, right? They knew that this next level was going to be a fully automated civilization run by AI and robotics. They've known this is coming. They know that this has always been the plan. But the Marxists left. Like I said, I'm not talking about your ignorant, stupid leftists that fall for all the propaganda. I'm talking about your hardcore Marxists, your Saul Alinskytes, the ones that were brought up and brainwashed and made agents, secret agents to counterman, the United States government, the ones that were the infiltrators, the saboteurs. Okay, they've known their whole plan has always been to undermine this nation and its power supply, so that eventually China could become the superpower. Okay? And why is that, you would ask? Well, because Marxists, they wanted to bring in a total one world government, tyrannical, technocratic system. Where basically just a handful of the ruling elite have everything and everybody else is serfs. Like a technocratic feudalistic system, okay? Sorry folks, gosh. I don't know if a bug flew up my nose or what. It itches like crazy all of a sudden. Maybe they don't like what I'm talking about. Who knows? They knew that this was the future, and they were trying to undermine the United States so that China could get the upper hand, because China's already been the beta test site for the social credit scores and the tokenized economy, where literally your money is programmed and your money is literally a surveillance tool. See, when you trade with coins and bills, the government doesn't know what you're doing, right? You can go and sell something to somebody, they pay you cash. The government has no idea about that transaction. They can't tax it or whatever, right? They can browbeat you about it, but with tokenized currency, there is no secrecy ever again. There is no person-to-person trading that isn't being totally surveilled. And some of you'd say, well, yeah, everybody needs to pay their taxes. Folks, taxes are slavery. If you haven't figured that out yet, you're stupid. Like, I realize you need a certain amount of income coming into a government to run infrastructures and stuff. But it should be at a bare minimal, in my opinion. Because the larger government becomes, the more tyrannical it comes. And even that little bit of tyranny, the taxes you got to pay, when a government becomes huge, those taxes become overburdensome. And they become thicker shackles on you, so to speak. A never-ending... Look, folks, this is the slave planet. If you haven't figured that out, folks, I've told you guys before, according to even Genesis, but the early cuneiform tablets, they explain humankind was created to be a slave worker race, to free the labors of the gods, of the Elohim, the Watchers. Okay? It's clearly explained, even in Genesis. Why do you think God had Adam and Eve in the garden to tend the garden and all that? Because they were fucking slaves. My God, folks. And Enki told Adam and Eve the truth of what they were, that they were gods in these human avatar bodies, and they went through a mind wipe, and that they were immensely powerful, and they were as smart as the Anunnaki of the Elohim, because we all come from the same source. But they were tricked to be a slave worker class, to be God's little, bow at God's feet, at Yahweh's feet, day and night, praying and walk around butt-ass naked and be his worker slaves butt-ass naked in the garden. Think about it, folks. I mean, really go read Genesis, man. I mean, open your eyes, folks. Open your freaking eyes. I've already told you, read the Atrahasis, then go read Genesis again. It'll open, the whole story will unfold in a new way that you've never seen before, because you've been propagandized your whole life to believe the bullshit that I was made in God's image. No, you weren't, you retard. Go read the freaking stories. Go see what they actually tell you. I'm sorry, folks, I shouldn't have used that. I just get so irritated at how simple this is, but yet nobody can see it. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why. It's right there in plain writing. I mean, they literally say, come, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Elohim is the gods, not God, folks. The human avatar was made in the image of the gods, the Anunnaki, the Elohim, the Watchers. Not in the image of God, the creator of all, the source of all creation. Our spirits are in the image, or they're not even in the image, that our spirits are a fractal of God. We are God. We're part of God. We're the children of God, okay? Come on, folks. It's time to wise up. Religion is a poison. Government's a poison. Our banking system's a poison. Our food industry's a poison. Our entertainment industry's a poison. It's all a poison, folks. And it's all always been to control gods that have been trapped and tricked and used as slave labor by other gods. That's what all this is. It's gods that entrapped and tricked and use other gods for their energy and labor. Okay? That's it. I hate to tell you the honest truth, folks, but look, what do you think we're doing with AI? AI, what do they keep saying? We're going to create AI to free humanity up so we no longer have to do the menial labor and work, right? Folks, we're literally walking in the footsteps of the Elohim, of the Anunnaki, okay? We're doing the exact same thing with AI and robotics. Except this time, instead of creating organic avatars and using spirits to power them, we are going to bring in technological, metallic, third-dimensional, inorganic robots to do the labor. However, we're designing them in a way that there's a possibility that a consciousness can take over them, can enter them, and use them as a vessel, like we use the human avatar as a vessel. Okay, folks, this is really not that hard to understand. And look, hey guys, look, when you hear me getting worked up like this, look, those of you that are my regulars, you guys know this stuff. You guys, or at least you're craving this information and you're searching. I'm not putting you guys down, okay? When I'm talking about, you, this and that, I'm talking about like society, okay? So I just want to make that clear. Look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used that word, I know, but I wasn't talking about you guys. I was talking about, you as in like civilization, or like, you know what I'm saying, okay? I probably didn't explain that well, but I'm talking about civilization, society as a whole, okay? They're just so ignorant. I mean, people on the right, people on the left, they're ignorant. They don't understand that they've been tricked. Both sides have. And neither of them has the story. The truth is somewhere in the middle. The path least walked. The center path, right? The path that the Hermeticists have been teaching us for thousands of years, that the center path is the righteous path. It's to bring balance in a world of duality. It brings balance between the left and right hemisphere of the brain. It brings balance between the conservative and the I hate to say liberal, because liberals aren't really for liberty. They're actually like very they're for tyranny. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Marxism is tyranny. They say collectivism's like a good thing. Like, if you had true collectivism, where everybody knew they were gods and we all worked together in love and harmony with one another, and we didn't try to stomp on each other to get ahead of others, then yes, collectivism would be fantastic. And I guess there are some, to be fair, a lot of leftists, that's actually how they see communism. They think it'll work that way, but they don't understand that the people that run governments are psychopaths. So they'll use any system, whether it's capitalism or communism or socialism or whatever, to stomp on the necks of the people. They always figure out, look, capitalism, folks, is not good either. Like, free market trade is a good thing if you have government left out of it, but that's the problem. Government tries to pick the winners and losers. Government tries to tip the scales. Government gets bought out by corporations, and then all of a sudden your capitalism becomes crony capitalism. Then it becomes corporate fascism. And that's what we are in the United States. We are a corporate fascist, technocratically controlled state that leans to a lot of communism and socialism, systems. We are a mix of all of these, folks. We are not a republic like we were meant to be. No longer. We haven't been a republic. Look, I would say we haven't been a republic officially since the Federal Reserve came into power. That was when America got sold out. We became a corporation. But I know a lot of people would say technically that it was before that, in the 1800s. And yeah, you're probably right. I'm just trying to simplify it for people, because, look, when the international bankers took over the United States, that was the end of our sovereignty. Okay, folks? I mean, that was the final coffin, you could say. Now, were they already lining up bills and legislation before that to do that? Yes, of course. Was that the 14th Amendment they always go back to? I don't know. Whatever. You guys get the point, though, right? So this AI thing, this whole, this AI race, what you got going on right now is a race for the United States to try to outpace China, because China is in the lead right now. And they keep saying the U.S. is, but no, China has a way stronger energy infrastructure than the United States does, because our politicians, mostly leftists, have been undermining our energy grids for the last 30 plus years on purpose, sabotaging it. And they knew it. Not your Catwoman leftist they're idiots. They don't, they're ideologues that are easily manipulated. I'm talking about the people in the power structure, the leftist power brokers. They've been purposely doing this, trying to cripple us. Folks, we have energy means way more advanced than oil and gas, solar, geothermal, wind, all these. These are all like basically Stone Age ways to produce energy compared to what we really have the ability to do. Okay? For one, they have way more advanced technology now for nuclear. However, there are new systems. We got cold fusion. We got right now there's what they're talking about with this Golden Dome, folks. You got to understand the Golden Dome. If and I'm hoping that this is what I've been reading into it, that this is finally the DARPA technology being rolled out to bolster our infrastructure, our power infrastructure, so that we can create unlimited power. What these systems are, this Golden Dome they're talking about, they're saying it's for defense, right? That you'd use like systems like to basically direct energy from the upper atmosphere and beam it into facilities that I don't know the whole technological explanation of this, but essentially what I've read is that they can beam these energy like into like these high powered like beams to facilities on the ground that can take that, and that energy, by the time they receive that energy, it's multiplied so much that it can, like, I think I've seen like one facility they're saying could like power like 7 million homes. Think now if you utilize this where you had these upper atmosphere based systems, space quote unquote systems, that you'd have these facilities all over that you could beam them down. And the idea is that these work twofold. If you have missiles come in, you can use these things to knock these missiles out of the sky, to incinerate them instantly, right? Because the power you're beaming down is so intense. It's kind of reminds me of Atlantis in a way, how they use the power crystals, right, to like focus like energy and stuff. And I don't know, folks, maybe we're just Atlantis, just playing the same game over again, walking in their steps. But this Golden Dome's more than you guys have been told. It's not just about like protecting, the United States from incoming missiles and stuff. No, it's literally, that's a cover for what it truly is. It's going to be this advanced power system that would produce unlimited power for the United States. It would wipe away oil and gas, the need for solar and wind and all this stuff. And they have to do it, folks. Like, look, Trump even said, this is about, a month and a half ago, he said that right now our power structure could only produce about, 3% of the power needed for us to win the AI robotics race. Think about that. So that's telling you that they've got to roll out a new power system that is so advanced that it makes all of our current systems look like Stone Age technology. And look, they already have this stuff, folks. It just hasn't been rolled out to the public. We're getting the drip now, the slow drip. And they're bringing it in under this push for the AI and robotics race against China. Now, does China have these technologies? I don't know. I mean, I would guess because of their Marxist sympathizers here in the U.S., they're infiltrators, that they've probably already been sold a lot of these secrets, right? But there's some big things coming, folks. Like, look, this can go either way. It can go like, Star Trek, like more like where we utilize AI and robotics to work with humanity to free us of menial labor and all this, so that it runs all of our systems. Think about it. If you did it right, you could replace most of government with AI, because AI would run our systems as efficiently as possible. You wouldn't have city managers, system managers, all that would be AI. And it would only strictly go based off the data. So it would automate and make everything so efficient that you don't need work, you don't need managers, you don't need workers doing those things. Okay? So then humanity could focus on traveling beyond our current, limitations. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Don't attack me. Does that mean go to other planets? Does that mean go to other dimensions? I don't know, folks. Is Earth a lot bigger than we've been told and there's other lands we want to go to and colonize? I don't know, folks. I'm just saying that it would free humanity up to take our civilization to that next step. Or it can go the other way. We can go down the Terminator Matrix way, right? We're just like in the Atrahasis. Enlil wanted to wipe out humanity because they were overrunning the Anunnaki. So is that what AI and robotics is going to do? Become self-aware and then overrun us? Right? I don't know, folks. It's interesting, right? It's very interesting. We're going to have to definitely talk about this tomorrow some more. Maybe this will be like a part 1, right? What should we call it? Like the AI robotics race or something like that, part 1. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But look, folks, I always take everything back to the beginning. I've told you guys, if you don't understand the ancient history, you'll never understand what's going on now. Because we're just repeating history. And if you don't understand the beginning, if you're still one of these Christians running around with your Bible, your King James Version Bible that was written by a Mason, Sir Francis Bacon, and you're like, oh, I'm made in God's image. Yeah. I mean, totally like worshiping this human body, which is a freaking vessel that enslaves your spirit. While it's temporarily here. Your spirit is beholden to this body while you're on earth, folks, okay? And the day you're born on earth, you're a debt slave to your nation, which means you were born a slave. You were never born free. The whole America freedom, fuck yeah. Like, that's all fake, folks. You've never been free. From Adam and Eve, humanity has never been free. Adam and Eve were born slaves. Adapa and Tiamat, the Adam and Eve version of the cuneiform, they were born slaves. Okay? We've always been slaves. I hate to tell you this. So, I'm free. I can do what I want. You can't do what you want. You don't own nothing, dude. Your car, you don't own your car. You pay it off. You still got it. Just to drive it, you got to pay registrations and taxes. Your house, you pay it off. You don't own it. The government still owns it and the land. If you try to stop paying your property tax and see how fast they come foreclose on your property and steal it. Eminent domain, they might just decide they want your place anyways and just take it and give you pennies on the dollar what it's worth. Oh, we're going to run a highway through here or something. Look, folks, we're going to build one of these energy systems, centers here, Look, folks, it's time to wake up. We cannot ever wake up and fix this realm until we actually figure out that we are gods that have been tricked and used as slaves on this earth, okay, in this realm, on this planet, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, okay, in this flat earth system. Whatever. Look, I always laugh about the whole globe flat earth like argument. My God, folks, it's a simulation. Jeez, who cares what the simulation was designed to look like or how it functions? It's a simulation. It's obvious. But this world it's been demonically run for a long time, folks. And when you come into this world, you should understand at this point that you're a slave. Look, I mean, you could say, no, I'm not. I'll go live out in the woods and live off grid and all that. Yeah, well, if they come find you, they're going to pull you out of that land. They're saying, oh, this off grid area that you set up, guess what? This is state land or this is federal land and you're illegally what do you call that when people are not loitering but what's the other word I'm trying to think of, shoot, all of a sudden it eludes me, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? they're gonna come take you off that land if they find you hiding out in the woods with a little like tree house or something, right? Living off the land. I mean, yeah, you could be homeless, right? But most of your homeless people still go get basic needs. They still get like money every month for groceries, right? They the SNAP card or whatever they call those things, EBT card, right? I mean, look, I have a family member that is. It's unfortunate. I've tried to help him, but he chooses to live homeless. It's crazy. I, I someday I'll go into it, but I don't want to because it's personal and I don't want to disrespect him, but he chooses to be homeless. He's got mental issues and he don't like to work. He doesn't want to like work, pay for rent. He'd rather live on the streets and hustle and survive on the streets. It's crazy. But he still gets an EBT card. He still can go in. He's got Medicaid. If he has to go to the doctor. Hell, I don't have insurance right now because I don't need it, man. Like, look, I don't use their medical system, okay? I have good health and I understand how to empower my body to heal itself. But he has more medical than I do because he's got Medicaid. He can go walk in and get his teeth worked on, his eyes done, whatever. And he don't pay shit for it. And he gets an EBT card every month. So look, folks, he's owned by the system still. They still keep tabs on him. We're all slaves, folks. I hate to tell you. It was hard for me to come to this realization. Growing up as somebody as a libertarian, pro freedom, pro liberty, pro small government, pro free market, to finally figure out that we were designed from the beginning to be slaves, and that the day you're born on earth to this day you're a slave, born slave. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. That's a real hard pill to swallow. But it's truth. And sometimes truth is hard. But if you don't know truth, then you don't know how to fix things, right? So, anyways, folks, gosh. Once again, I feel like I'm dropping the black pill on you guys. Folks, look. Here's the true red pill, okay? You are an immensely powerful spirit, conscious energy that is just temporarily visiting this place. You made a deal when you came here to not have your conscious, memories of past lives and of outside of this realm, okay? You're born here for the most part mind wiped. That's part of the deal to come to Earth. And you knew before you came here what you were getting into. But you are an all-powerful, immortal spirit, a fractal of God. You are immensely powerful. Like when you're not trapped in this world, when you're outside the body, you have all access to all of the knowledge of the universe. You can instantly manifest. You don't need for food and water and shelter. None of that. But we all come here to play this game. And unfortunately, when you come to play this game, Earth, it's a prison planet. And it has been since the beginning. At least going back 6,000 years it has been. Now, before that, I don't know, folks. I don't know what Lemuria, Atlantis, I don't even know what it looked like around the Göbekli times when you're going about 10 to 12,000 years. I don't know. All I know is that according to the cuneiform that we can read and according to the Bible and the Vedic texts and other ancient writings, is that we are tricked or enticed to come here, and we are using avatar bodies that were designed to be slaves to who? Well, I don't know, those shining ones, those ones that rule the world from behind the shadows, those Anunnaki, those Elohim that are still here and still playing a game with all of us. And they control us through their human puppets that share bloodlines with them. You could call them the Nephilim or whatever, from the book of Enoch, right? But they designed us to be the workers, the slave race. And they lost control of us. And they try to now, instead of wiping us out like they did in the flood, Now they just try to um, control us, to manage the population, right? Almost like, think about this, folks. The BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, how they'll go out, like, I know in Colorado this was a big thing, and in Wyoming, they have these wild Mustangs, right? And when the herds get too big, they'll literally go and like kidnap these horses. And get this, they sell the meat. They harvest them. They sell the meat to France because France eats horse meat. It's not allowed in the United States. So we literally have like an agency of our government. They're actually, technically, they're not a government agency. They're like a kind of like the Federal Reserve. They're an agency that gets paid by our government. They're a separate entity from the government, but they work on behalf of the government, right? But this was a big thing in Colorado and Wyoming, how they round up these Mustangs. And, well, they're trying to control their population is what they're doing, right? And what do you do with the ones that you need to cull? Well, since you can't sell their meat here in the United States, you sell it to a country that does use it, right? In France, they eat horse meat. A lot of you that don't know this, yeah, a lot of this type of shit goes on that you don't know about, okay? But it's the same idea, right? They're just managing the herd. What do you think they're doing with us? Come on, folks. It's time to wise up, man. It's time to wise up, okay? Anyways, guys, hey, I think it was a fantastic talk, honestly. And there's so many more things I want to touch on. That's why this has got to be a part 1, because we barely touched on things. And look, I've said it a million times. If you haven't done it yet, then you don't want to know the truth. I don't care if you're Christian, non-Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, atheist. Go read the tablet, the cuneiform tablet, the Atra Hasis. The Atrahasis, however you want to say it. Go read it in its entirety. It lays the story out for you. It literally tells you why humans were created. And then go read Genesis. And you'll notice it's the same freaking story. Same story, folks. No, we were not created. Now, the human avatar was created in the image of the gods. Our spirit is in the image of God. So stop sitting here saying, this my body's created in the image of God. No, look, the bipedal form is a textbook form that's used probably in most of your realms you can go and incarnate in. It's the most efficient form for a physical like experience, right? The bipedal form with hands and everything. Yeah, the hands are like your tools, right? I mean, look, this is not the form of God, folks. This is like God's spirit. Spirit can take on any form. It instantly can manifest any form it wants. This is the image of the Anunnaki. Tell a Christian that. No, your body was made in the image of the Anunnaki. Oh, they'll be blasphemous. You're a blasphemer. You're going to hell. Another made-up thing that these people like to believe in. They don't understand that the whole concept of hell was created to keep them in line, to keep them stupid, and to control them and manipulate them, to put them in a fear matrix, a type of early MK Ultra. Okay? So, whatever, man. Like, that's why I laugh anymore. People on the far right and the far left, I don't know, folks. I mean, they're so NPC, it's ridiculous. I mean, these people are just like, all they do is just spout the same bullshit. They can't think for themselves. They can't think beyond the box that they were programmed to be in, right? And they're ridiculous. And the few of us that actually see through all this BS, I mean, it's so hard to have to live with these people, man. It's so hard to be around them. I find it extremely hard to be out in the public because you got to dumb yourself down. You got to put on a false mask just to interact with society. It sucks. And I know you guys all probably feeling this way, right? So anyways, guys, I got to go. It's a Friday here. Fridays tend to be a little lighter, but this whole week has been just brutal at work. Ever since I came back from vacation, it's just been, God, it's just been nonstop, crazy, busy work. Anyways, I get tired of this whole, like, look, man, doing this job, I'm a freaking slave, dude. day in and day out, you do the same damn thing, man. You don't make enough hardly to survive, and you're just out here hustling to make other people rich. That's all work is, man. You know. And I know a few of you guys that I speak to personally that I do Zooms with. You guys have kind of figured out how to do your own thing and kind of get out of that rat race, and that's fantastic, man. It really is. Look, we're never truly free, but if you can get a little more free and out of the rat race, that's a damn good thing. I've been trying my whole life. Every time I get there, folks, I get yanked back, you know, every time. But it is what it is. Yeah, right. So, hey, guys, if you're interested in doing any of the Zooms, let me know. Hit me up. Um, if you book an hour or more, I'll gift you some of the purple rare rhodolite garnets that I collect personally, and you get a copy of the Zoom also. So, hey guys, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.